Jaya. We're back on YouTube. Text 16. Aishvarya Gyannete Sava Jagat Mishrita Aishvarya Shtitila Premenahi Mora Prita. Knowing my opulences, the whole world looks upon me with awe and veneration, but devotion made feebly by such reverence does not attract me. Purport. After his appearance, Lord Krishna thought that he had not distributed the transcendental personal dealings with his devotees in Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. One may understand the science of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the Vedic literatures and thus become a devotee of the Lord and worship Him within the regulative principles described in the scriptures. But one will not know in this way how Krishna is served by the residents of Brajabhumi. One cannot understand the dealings of the Lord in Vrindavan simply by executing the ritualistic regulative principles mentioned in the scriptures. By following scriptural injunctions, one may enhance his appreciation for the glories of the Lord. But there is no chance for one to enter into personal dealings with Him. Giving too much attention to understanding the exalted glories of the Lord reduces the chance of one's entering into personal loving affairs with the Lord. To teach the principles of such loving dealings, the Lord decided to appear as Lord Chaitanya. Text 17. Aishvarya Gyannabidhi Bhajanna Kariya Vaikunta Ke Jaya Chaturvidha Muktipana. By performing such regulated devotional service in awe and veneration, one may go to Vaikunta and attain the 4 kinds of liberation. Text 18. Sashti Sarupya Arasamipya Shalokya Sajujjana Laya Bhakta Jate Brahma Aikya. These liberations are Sashti, achieving opulences equal to those of the Lord. Sarupya, having a form the same as the Lord. Samipya, living as a personal associate of the Lord, and Salokya, living on a Vaikuntha planet. Devotees never accept Sajuja. However, since that is oneness with Brahman, Sajuja. Purport. Those engaged in devotional service according to the ritualistic principles mentioned in the scriptures attain these different kinds of liberation. But although such devotees can attain Sastri, Sarupya, Samipya, and Shalokya, they are not concerned with these liberations. For such devotees are satisfied only in rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. The 5th kind of liberation, Sajuja, is never accepted even by devotees who perform only ritualistic worship. To attain Sajuja, or merging into the Brahman effulgence of the personality of Godhead, is the aspiration of the impersonalists. A devotee never cares of Sajuja liberation. A devotee never cares about Sajuja liberation, about merging into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. That is not the goal of devotion. Text 19. Yuga Dharma Pravartaimu Nama Sankirtana Chari Baba Bhakti Dija Natyamu Bhuvana. I shall personally inaugurate the religion of the age, Nama Sankirtana, the congregational chanting of the holy name. I shall make the world dance in ecstasy, realizing the 4 mellows of loving devotional service. Text 20. Appanikarimu bhaktavabhangikare Apanya Charibhakti Sikaimu Sabari. I shall accept the role of a devotee, and I shall teach devotional service by practicing it myself. Purport: when one associates with a pure devotee, he becomes so elevated that he does not aspire even for Sastri, Sarupya, Samipya, or Salokya, because he feels that such liberation is a kind of sense gratification. Pure devotees do not ask for anything from the Lord for their personal benefit. Even if offered personal benefits, pure devotees do not accept them, because their only desire is to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by transcendental loving service. No one but the Lord Himself can teach this highest form of devotional service. Therefore, when the Lord took the place of the incarnation of Kali Yuga to spread the glories of chanting Hare Krishna, the system of worship recommended in this age, He also distributed the process of devotional service performed on the platform of transcendental spontaneous love to teach the highest principles of the spiritual life. The Lord Himself appeared as a devotee in the form of Lord Chaitanya. Text 21. Appanena kaile dharma shikana na Jaya eita siddhanta gita bhagavate gaya. Unless one practices devotional service himself, he cannot teach it to others. This conclusion is indeed confirmed throughout the Gita and Bhagavatam. Jaya Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta ki Jai. We will continue reading text 22 tomorrow. But what Srila Prabhupada and Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj have revealed to us through these verses and purports is pretty much what is the goal for those who are practicing devotion. And that is not liberation at all. For those who are associating with a pure devotee, liberation seems some kind of sense gratification. Merging into the Brahman effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not the goal of someone who is practicing devotion. Therefore, the Lord Himself decided to incarnate into a devotee and teach and practice devotion Himself and distribute that to everyone. Jai Mahaprabhu. Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj ki Jai. Jai Srila Om Vishnupada Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. We're reading now Centenary Anthology, Pastimes, Glories and Teachings of His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. We were reading chapter number 5, the guide. We were reading that we are patients. We must consider ourselves as patients of a hospital. That we have a disease, we're sick. And another analogy that Srila Guru Maharaj gave us is that we must consider that we're also in a school. So we're in a progression. We're trying to make it to the next level, but it's not easy. And we're all doing that. And some of us might fail the exam. But that doesn't mean that if our God brothers or God sisters are failing their exam, we are also going to fail our exam. We must keep going and practice our own self-determination. And since we're probably immature and unfit for the mission, the association with Guru, with a spiritual master, Sadhu Sangha, that is going to give some relief to our hearts when we realize that there's some dirt in our heart and we're disturbed because we have made a mistake. Just the presence and the guide of the Guru, that itself is going to give relief to the heart. Sometimes the devotees may feel defeated and sometimes may even go mad, but on the whole, they shall have to make progress. Therefore, some sort of consideration and generosity should be allowed. We should think that we are in a hospital where there are so many deceased persons. This is not a place where all the healthy people live. It is not possible. We are also patients, and there are so many other patients. Patients are of different types. Some may even die, and some may have a relapse. But ignoring all these facts, with real interest for my own health, I must go on with the help of a doctor. Taking this help, thinking his help by following the proper prescribed medicine and diet, I will be cured. Just because so many others are getting worse or dying does not mean that my own health must also deteriorate. Another example is that in a school, all may not pass the examinations. Many will fail, but still a determined student must go on. We shall not be discouraged from following the path of our eternal benefit just because of some unsuccessful candidates. I shall not be cowed down by seeing this. I must be wakeful to the fact that this is my vital and only interest. I cannot just leave and go away. Everyone may go, but I must fight single-handed with the enemy. All may fly away, but because this is my vital interest, I will stay and fight single-handed with self-determination. Why? Because I have already understood and realized this to be my vital interest. So I cannot go back. Even once we find this to be deeply rooted within our heart, such determined resolve must come from within. We will find this to be the very thing we were searching after. Questioner: can a patient also become a doctor? Srila Guru Maharaj: yes, when he is fully cured, has studied about medicine, and has undergone the necessary education of a doctor, he may become a doctor. It is necessary to be qualified and also appointed. You see, first of all, it is necessary to be qualified. Then, by the appointment of the higher administration, you can become a doctor in the hospital. You may engage in private practice if you are qualified, but to become a doctor in a hospital, you must have some sanction from above. In this way, a sadhu can give assistance in several ways, but the acharya, holding a big position, should have sanction from above. And that is prapanadasha. Questioner: who will decide whether the patient is qualified to be a doctor? Srila Guru Maharaj: external sanction is not necessary by letter, but he is to be already awake and fixed in the internal world. Inspiration will come from the internal world. The people are suffering, and you have the medicine. You shall distribute the medicine to the patients. This may be seen in a dream, but while awake also, internal inspiration will come to you. And because you know the medicine and you know the symptoms of the disease, irresistibly you will advance to help the patients. You have the medicine and you cannot but engage yourself in treating them. You will see this more clearly than daylight, more really than this world of experience. People are suffering, but you have the medicine. You use that medicine and you were cured. Now you find another to be suffering from the same disease. You have the cure in your hand. So why should you not apply it? What explanation do you have not to do so? It will not be for making money that you will give the medicine, not for fame, but it will be due to the internal urge to help them. And you will find that the noble predecessors have also asked you to do so. Yardeka tarekaha Krishna padesha, ammaragya ya guru hannatarai desha. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta, Maria Lila, chapter 7, text 128. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed, whoever you meet, try to rescue them by talking to them about Krishna. If there is a ditch and you see a man about to blindly fall into it, will you not try to save him? It is a natural feeling. When it is plain, so very plain that it will happen, but you don't help him, then you will be responsible. This common sense may be applied, but we must be sincere. The danger is that we must not be motivated by money, fame, or any worldly gain. Kanak, Kamini, and Pratishta are the three main disturbing elements that misguide us and draw us from this side to that. But when we are free from them, the street we walk shall be broad and clear. God is good, and you would like to see everyone becoming good by getting God. God is good and God is great. When that superior type of thinking will be clear to you, all your activities will be controlled only by that one principle of life. And with that, you will go on helping others with a firm faith that this must be given to all. This is very tasteful. Please come to a safe position away from the danger zone, and you will become happy. The tasteful medicine will make people happy. And if that is actually in your possession, you cannot but feel the urge within to help others. With real knowledge, all the general questions such as where we are to go, how to go, and why we should go are to be solved in order to help others. Who am I? Why am I troubled? And how can I achieve my desired end? These fundamental problems should be solved. And if you have the solution, you must give it to others. My friends, come and solve your problems. That will be the mentality of the preacher, and found very intensively in an acharya. Questioner. Someone may have a sincere urge, but he may not be completely aware of the danger, and he himself may become infected. Srila Guru Maharaj. The proper path follows a fine strategy. With the help of a higher agent he may approach, otherwise not. Without the help of a higher agent he will be nowhere. He will be lost. When he goes to cure a patient, if he will not be able to cure him, then the patient's germ will attack him and he will also die with the patient. In that case, he won't be of any help and he should not approach. He should inform the higher doctor and ask for better medicine to help his serious patient. In the case of doubt, that with my meager medicine and meager instruments, I may not be able to cure this patient. One should not venture to approach the patient, but instead, he will appeal to the doctor of a higher position. This is very reasonable. Jaya Mahaprabhu. Following Mahaprabhu's advice to help others it still may be found, in rare cases, that the doctor approaches with a good heart to cure the patient, but he himself dies. It is also not impossible, but not desirable. When an organized party approaches for relief work, some soldiers may be sacrificed before obtaining victory. The victorious party will also have to incur some loss when fighting with the enemy. Similarly, in the mission, some soldiers may be asked to approach the rich men and the women. Therefore, sometimes some may be lost. But their loss will be for the time being, and again they will come back. We expect them to come back again because once someone has a taste, he will not be able to forget that. Nehabikrama nashosti pratyabhayodna vidyate svalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahatobhayat. Whatever has been acquired is eternal. It cannot be destroyed. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. The assurance is given by Krishna. Even if he has come to me, only for the time being, he has taken some medicine before leaving, so he ultimately must come to me again. Jaya, Centenary Anthology, Ki Jaya, Pastimes, Glories and Teachings of His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Raka, Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, Ki Jaya. We're going to chant Nam Sankirtan, and we will finish the morning readings. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govindara Shri Madhusudana Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mokhana Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Rupa Sanatana Vata Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopala Vata Dasa Raghunatha Echa Gosai Kori Charana Vandana Jaha Hoite Vignana Shavista Purana Echa Gosai Jaramu Itaradasa Tasavara Padarenu Mora Panchagrasa Tadira Charana Sevi Vakta Saneva Sajana Me Jana Me Mora Eya Vilasa Echa Gosai Jave Vrajakuila Vasa Ratha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakasha Anande Volohari Vajavrindavana Shri Guru Vaishnava Parima Jai Jamana Shri Guru Vaishnava Para Padmakoriya Shahari Nama Sankirtana Kohe Narottama Dasa Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Haribol, Nitai Gaura Haribol, Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol. Jai Om Vishnupada Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Bhagavan Srila Isi Bhakti... No. Jai Om Vishnupada Srila Isi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupanu Guru Varga Ki Jai. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sarshi Gaura Bhaktarinda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Ki Jai. Jai Gaur Cultures Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Jai Chaya Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Jai Shri Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Kyo Hare Krishna. Good morning. You finished inner fulfillment yesterday. Now what? Well, it depends. It depends how you're feeling, how you see in the world after reading in the inner fulfillment. Try to meditate and reflect on what you just read and try to experience what you just read. Because the teachings of Srila Guru Maharaj are alive. They're a person. So try to listen to the environment after that you fed your consciousness with that knowledge. In this case, the knowledge coming from Inner Fulfillment book. That is the next important step. Try to experiment and practice what you read there. And if you want to go deeper, there's a wonderful book that I recommend you. It's Revealed Truth by Srila Govinda Maharaj. Read that one, or Search for Sri Krishna by Srila Sridhar Maharaj. It's a blue book. Search for Sri Krishna. And then Revealed Truth is a kind of brownish book. So those two, I'm going to write them down for you. Those two. But yeah, the most important thing is to try to practice what we read and to experience it. Because they're not like novels or books of fiction. They're actually alive, and they bring so much nourishment to our consciousness, so that our consciousness can every day align its angle of vision properly. And that must be practiced personally. You yourself need to practice that from your sincerity of your heart, in the privacy of your heart. And of course, if you can talk about the books that you're reading with other devotees, the better. That's actually the best way to practice it. Telling about what you read to others, asking about what you read to others who might be more qualified, and practicing it in the privacy of your heart. Jai! Well, a pleasure to have you here, Kyo. I hope you have a wonderful day. And Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Dandavat pranams.